I want to say a big thank you to Central Committee Coventry for sending me over these tape heads to experiment with. Very, very interesting. I've actually never seen anything like this, and I'm going to have a chat about those in a second. But before I do that, I want to give Central Committee Coventry a big shout out. Props to them. They're big supporters of the kind of Midlands music scene, putting on events in Coventry. I see a lot of events, have been at the Tin, which is somewhere I've been in the past. In fact, my first ever synth meet many, many years ago was in Coventry. And now that I'm back in the Midlands, hopefully, I'll see you guys there a bit more. I need to really get out the workshop and come see people again. But let's have a chat about these tape heads. So the first thing I noticed was you can see the gap width of these guides. The guides are the bits that keep the tape in line with the gap, the part that actually reads and writes, is a lot smaller than any other tape head I've ever seen. It's 1/16 inch. Standard tape is 1/8, and something people ask me about the micro cassette looper I make, the lo-fi tape looper, is does it use normal tape? And that's it uses the same tape as kind of standard cassettes, 1/8. But these gaps, if we look next to it, you see they're half the width. The other thing that jumped out at me, for anyone who's trying to work out what heads are, there's a couple of telltale signs. If we look at the face of it, we can see it's divided into a upper and a lower section. So that's going to be like left-right channel. So that's really promising in itself. A lot of the tape heads I've got at the moment are just mono jack. And then looking at the back, we can confirm that. So we've got, top pins and bottom. But what gets really interesting is if we look over on the right here, we've got a second set of pins. Now, looking at the face, I'm starting to think potentially these could be something quite special. Either these are a combined record and playback stereo head, which is very unique. I mean, the only other thing I've ever seen like that, if we have a look inside the Marantz, oh my god, that's dusty. I modded this one so it's got no cover, so I can play live with it easily. But you'll see we've got a record head on the right there, on the left, and then a playback on the right. So if we have a look like this, potentially this could be a record and then a playback, but I think it's more likely, just from kind of looking at it, to be an erase. If you look on that right section, can you see it's across the whole face? So rather than being divided into a left-right. So what I'm starting to think is this is an erase record playback head, something quite unique. And I don't know what they would have been used for. I've had a look online and I can't find anything about this 1/16 tape. So it could have been for some kind of custom machine. Now, I like Synchronicity, and this has kind of spun me out. JE, Jack Edwards, that's my initials. So I don't know whether I was supposed to get these, whether they were supposed to find me, but also on the tape, on the head, where is it, on the back side? There you go, EJ. So yeah, I'm gonna get experimenting with these. I've got some other tape machines I need to finalise now I've moved back to Worcester, but what I'm thinking to do, some people might have seen I did some open reel tape machines. So if I removed the top guide, what I'd be able to do is, with a couple of bearings and then putting some guides here and here, I'd be able to use these with 1/8 tape. So yeah, just wanted to say big thanks to Central Committee Coventry for thinking of me, and giving me the opportunity to make something with these. And I'll keep tagging you guys as the project develops. But just to begin with, I'm quite excited because, like I say, this isn't something I've come across before, and I think potentially we've got a combined erase, record, playback head. So the way I'll confirm it is I'll get an inductance meter. For anyone who wants to get into tape electronics, you're going to need one of those, because that's what a tape head is, essentially. We've got a winding, a coil, which is like wrapped around a ferrite kind of material. It varies, but anyway. And then there's a gap in that material, and then the electrical signal is converted into a magnetic flux, which is then imparted and stored onto the tape as it passes by. So yeah, if you're gonna try and work out, buy tape heads on eBay and try and work out what you've got, inductance meter is the first place to start. And then if you get a book, have I got one here in front of me? Yes, here we go. So in Small Signal Audio, there's some information about what kind of inductances to expect from different types of tape head, for different, whether they're record, playback or erase. So yeah, I hope that's been interesting. Peace, love and tape heads. Until next time, bye.